This scene is so powerful because he's grabbed him. He's this little light of mine. He's like, okay, let me tell you why. Everything they told you is a lie. So this is another part, again, second moment where he's challenging religion, in particular Christianity, and like the ethos of it. Like he says, they lied to you, man. They told you stories of a God above and a devil below. Okay, so hey, here we go. What's up, YouTube? What's up, tubers? I don't know what you call yourself. This is me giving you what I think are the three most important moments you might have missed, or maybe you didn't even know existed, because they don't want you to know. And that's real talk. But anyway, we're gonna get into my three important moments I think people should know about. So yeah, if you tapped in, if you've seen Sinners, let me first just get into why that is so crazy and incredible, man. In it are some incredible soul piercing spiritual conversations that are brought up in a way that I don't think we've seen in film, and especially mainstream film, in a long time. Like anything that even references voodoo, hoodoo, Ifa, Yoruba, anything in that proximity. When have we had any like that? That popped off though. You know what I'm saying? So like this is kind of like monumental and it's crazy, and it's like it's kind of mind blowing that this kind of content is even out there. It's mainstream and it hit because it's dope, it's good as but then also it's filled and layered with a lot of depth that's meant to be reviewed and reevaluated for years to come. Delroy Lindo, man, is like just a treasure. He's a treasure. I think he's right up there with Denzel, like keeping it real. And I know that might be crazy controversial. He hasn't been in as many movies, but as far as like just what he brings and how he fills up the space of a black film, man, like he's one of one. He is one of the conduits for, I think, representing the elders, of course, in Sinners. And in particular, he's the OG, he's the quadruple OG. So he's the classically trained blues man who's, got his knowledge and his tools and his gifts passed on down from him, from his OG, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The artistry of this movie, whew. So he's essentially giving him a tutorial. He's giving him a blues tutorial, like what you need to know. Like he's giving him the jewels and the seeds. This moment, I haven't heard no kind of moment like this been said in mainstream media about religion, and in particular, I would say one of the antagonists that we got to be honest is the church. They're also kind of like, you could say, the guardian, kind of guardianess, but really kind of one of the antagonists, one of the people giving Sammy, who is the main character, obviously, in Sinners, the most friction, really, is his pops. But yeah, you can see what it says. It says, blues wasn't forced on us like that religion. Crazy. Pretty crazy point to make that that spiritual energy driving force is something that's permeated across every culture, but in particular, we're talking about African and diasporic descendants. That's our through point. That's our, our, you could say ethos. What? No, that's not the word, but that's where that's one of our powers. Whatever you want to say, whatever. And oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he even says we brought this with us from our home. And he's like, "What you mean from the Delta? The Delta?" He's like, "Nah, from the motherland." And he said, "It's sacred. It's big. Yeah, it's big, sacred, and it's big." Because he talks like with a little lisp. He's got like a little lisp, sacred, and it's big. Like just the way he was saying it is pretty funny. I mean, Delaware, he's a monster. I mean, just talking about how important like this conduit that we call our black spiritual core, where it manifests itself through music, entertainment, etc. Just like how that's important for us, and how when we realize how important it is, we can reharness it, and it ain't just got to be to make shit that's for the moment. Okay, let's get to point number 2. First of all, Rennick, the main villain of Sinners, is always, like people say, I do think Coogler has really dialed in how to make a complex how to make a complex villain, because he did it with Rennick. Represents, he, of course, there are people say, oh yeah, he's a metaphor for white supremacy and against which it is, of course, cultural appropriation. That's definitely part of it, right? But that's like just one chamber, because again, Cougar hitting you from all 36 motherfucking chambers in this movie, man, for sure. This scene toward the end, he's about to try to kill Sammy. And that's why you know, like, it's a movie or whatever, because it's like he's got him dead for rights, man. He got him right then and there, right before the sun's coming up. And this nigga, like, is like, no, you know what? I just want to play with my food. Like, you got the shit right there. Again, that's just, you know, that's filmmaking. So of course you gotta create those spaces for dialogue. You know, Sammy starts singing, he sings to church and starts singing the prayer. And he's like, oh yeah, I know that song, man. Like, yeah, yo, the people who took over my shit, which is, you know, he's from Ireland, and they try to age him. I guess say he's like 500 plus years old. That's what I've seen in the discussions. Like, that's the time period he'd be from kind of where he's talking about when they took over. This scene is so powerful because he's grabbing him. He's this little light of mine. He's like, okay, let me tell you why. Everything they told you is a lie. So this is another part, again, second moment where he's challenging religion, in particular Christianity, and like the ethos of it. Like, he says they lied to you, man. They told you stories of a God above and a devil below, and lies of dominion of man over beast and earth. Now, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, the sinners is demonic, you know, and if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, man. You know, go to each your own. But when you can like really analyze and see beneath the surface of things, which is the point of what he's trying to really showcase in the film, is he says in lies with dominion of man over beast and earth. He said, we are earth and beast and God. Huh? What? We are earth and beast and God? He's talking to Sam. He's like, yo, man, like, yo, even before he drains him of his power, he basically take his power, and we'll get to that point. You know, that's probably the centerpiece of it, the film. We are connected. We are one, right? So that's really like, this is a villain? We are connected, you and I, to everything. We are connected to everything. I mean, now, you can go find many religions and spiritual practices where that is one of their core tenets. You feel me? So I said Rennick basically was trying to hack the system. He's trying to hack, you know, the system he got in, because essentially Rennick, what he's trying to say, you know, that he's a slave to his own circumstances. Like, he's trapped. His soul is trapped. That's the whole concept of what they say, like a vampire soul is trapped. You can't see the sun. Like, you're trapped in your quote unquote trappings of power, right? You know, they know they're immortal, you can live forever, but all you can do is just kind of like suffer in silence. And that's one thing that, you know, also they communicate toward the end of the movie with Michael B. Jordan, where he's, you know, saying, hey, I'm a vampire or whatever, but like my best day was fucking 30 years ago when I was with my brother. You know, no, that's neither here nor there, but so he was turned obviously by somebody. So the way he gained that power, but he lost his connection to his ancestors, right? That's important. You know, clock that, as they say. Note that. He said he wanted to get back to his people. That's the main thing he says. I want to be able to get back to my people. So he lost his connection to his ancestors because his soul is trapped as a vampire. So he was really just trying to get back to his people. That's kind of like his ethos as a villain, which is crazy. It's not like, yo, I just want to kill black people. And that's why he kind of like, when they mentioned it, like, oh, you don't like black people, you don't fuck with this. Is like, nah, man, like, I don't fuck the Klan. Like, matter of fact, I'm gonna turn them and like I'm gonna take control of them. Like, nah, they gonna join my, you know, menagerie. They're gonna join my band of vampires that I want to repopulate the earth with, so I don't feel alone and so that I can have power. So that's the other thing I think about kind of what's being communicated is it's kind of like false power. Like, yeah, you turn everybody, because that's kind of what he was also trying to say. Join me, man, because like they don't fucking care about you. You basically are worth nothing to them. You're dogs to them. They treat you like dogs, worse than dogs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to consume you. But then after I consume you, you become a part of me. And then you do everything I do. But you get a little power. You can live forever. But like, you really not going to be, you know, you can be independent, but you still kind of are controlled by me. So it's like you lose control. You get false power, really, which is a metaphor for a lot of things that's happening in the world today. The only issue why he's a villain, because he's obviously a villain, right? He murders and kills people. He's a beast or whatever, killing people, you know, at his own whim. He is a villain. He's evil, right? But not just like a traditional evil, which is like, you know, there is not always just like a pure concrete evil good. There is, but there is pretty much always nuance and everything, right? As we're learning in this world, but nobody gives a about nuance. So that's basically, he's kind of, the point is showcasing is kind of the point of and the destructive and, you know, world destroying potentially nature of white supremacy is like it's a one-sided deal. Like, you know, so Sammy did not get anything from that deal but false powers as a vampire if he was to be turned, his gifts and powers stolen and absorbed, like I already said, and his soul trapped away from the sun, which is fucked, right? For melanated people, one of the sources of energy and rejuvenation forever, and from connecting to his ancestors, another power source, another connection to the main conduit of the universal soul source, and his power. So you from his source code, and all you get is immortality. Like that's really why he don't go with it, and he's smart. Even at the end, he's like, man, that's some bullshit, man. So we're wrapping up to the final part 3. So if you haven't seen the post-credit scene, this is the third moment I think is important that people have missed in Sinners. And what I believe this happens in this scene, and what people are saying, is that this is a scene of him giving, I say tribute, but paying homage to the spirit and the energy, the energetic force, deity, spiritual. I mean, it's a lot of different things. It's referred to in a lot of different ways, but Papa Legba, also known in other manifestations as Elegba, and Ife, Yoruba, you know, Hoodoo, Voodoo. It's a lot of different complexities to these different types of spiritual systems, and like they matured and evolved in different ways. That's why Hoodoo and Voodoo are different, and Yoruba and Ife and Santeria are all different and fucking very intricate, right? But so he's saying that he looks up, and in the final scene, he looks up and he's giving tribute to Papa Legba, Egg Legba, and, you know, saying, you know, thank you. I'm going to let it shine. I'm going to use this gift. I'm going to pass down the source code, the reason why you gave me these gifts.
Man, Me and the Devil Blues is the famous one.
Yeah.
You know, but the legend had it that he went to the Crossroads. He wasn't that good of a guitar player. Went to the Crossroads one night, and you know, in Western concepts, like I said, the devil came to him and tuned his guitar for him for the price of his soul, and he came back playing better than anybody had ever heard. As I researched, I learned that it wasn't necessarily the devil, but it was a figure named Papa Legba, you know, who was a African deity. And you know, once I unlocked that, it became fascinating for me, and I learned that this contribution, man, like the Delta Blues, is really like America's greatest contribution to global popular culture. You know, and at that time, in that place, it was very hard to be black and be seen as a human being. You know, and through that affirmation, they gave the world a gift that you know continues to give, and it gives internationally.
Crazy, man. He's like he's only saying this on, like, you know, smaller radio stations and stuff like that, but like that's one of the things that you weaved into the fabric of a film like this, man. Fucking crazy, bro. Okay, so there's this movie that's pretty wild. I never heard of it. It's a scene with Legba. When you watch it, like, we'll just see how much we can watch, but like.
Hey, blind boy, come over here. What's your name, Four Eyes?
My name Willie Brown, sir.
What you doing on these crossroads alone, Willie Brown?
Robert Johnson told me I can make a deal here.
A deal? With who?
Robert said, man called Legba. You him?
No.
I got $2.
Well, your green don't buy nothing down where Legba come from, boy. Now, you want to play like Robert Johnson? You want to play like Petey Wheatstraw? Well, say goodnight to your soul, son.
So totally deconstructing this really, I guess, false narrative of what that type of exchange would have been. It would have been, and I think that's the way Coogler is depicting it, is more of a communication and exchange of like prayer and, you know, reverence, and asking for, hey, if you give me a chance, man, give me this, fill me with this energy, this little light, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna push it forward as far as we can go. And, you know, I think that's beautiful. Such a beautiful sentiment to put out there in the atmosphere for melanated people, man. That's the end of that. That's the end of that. Those are the three major moments And hopefully you learned something and you can deep dive from this. And we'll maybe have more. We'll have a lot of different other content on the channel. I go by the name of Small Eyes, and yeah, have a good one, and do your thing. Yeah, that's it.